Brazil head into the World Cup with Carlo Ancelotti at the helm and dreams of ending their 24-year wait to lift their 6th World Cup. Well, Brazil are not problem-free heading into this tournament. Kaveh Solhekol has been watching over their training session this afternoon. Let's join him now then. Kaveh, Brazil come into this tournament with a lot less pressure on them than previous ones. Can you tell us why?
Well, they just haven't been in very good form, especially in the World Cup qualifying in the South American group, where they lost 6 times and they finished 6th in the group. Normally they would have had to go through a playoff to get into the World Cup, but because the World Cup has been expanded this time round, they did manage to get in automatically, but they had a really problematic qualifying group. They had 3 different managers and only just managed to qualify for the World Cup. So under normal circumstances, of course, you would be looking at this group of players saying they've got some of the best players in the world. They ought to be one of the favourites for the World Cup. They're definitely one of the biggest draws for the World Cup because of the mystique and the history of the Brazilian national team. But I think they are one of the sort of outsiders in the group of favourites who can win this World Cup, just because of the poor form they've been in. I think things have improved. The spirit in the camp has improved since Carlo Ancelotti has come in. Obviously, he needs no introduction, one of the greatest club managers of all time. He's become the first foreigner to become the manager of Brazil, but he's a manager who has such a great connection with big name players. He's had that throughout his career, and I think he's been working his magic on these Brazilian players as well. It hasn't been plain sailing though. Carlo Ancelotti, I think, has been in charge for 10 games. Brazil have won half of them. They've won 5 of them. I think they drew 3 and lost 2 under him as well. But you know, we normally start these sort of live reports from training sessions with the reporter in vision, and I know, Bella, you're probably looking forward to seeing me because I haven't seen you for a while. But I thought, you know, when you've got such a collection of incredible players, let's start the report by focusing on them instead of a jobbing reporter like me.
Do you know what, Kaveh? I was disappointed that I didn't get to see you, but then I saw Ancelotti and all was fine. So look, let's talk about some of the players, shall we? Gabriel will be a key figure in the defence, we know that, but it is also his first World Cup. What is the expectation for him during this tournament?
Well, look, I think he could be one of the sort of standout centre-backs of this World Cup, especially if Brazil manage to go deep in the tournament. Obviously, he's somebody who is been the focus of a lot of attention recently, especially because of what happened in the Champions League final when he missed that crucial penalty for Arsenal. Looking at social media over the past couple of days and weeks, there have been a lot of people making fun of him, but let's not forget he is one of the best centre-backs in the world at the moment. He also was a key part of the Arsenal side who won the Premier League title last season. You're right though, this is sort of uncharted territory for him, because I don't think he was even in the Brazil squad for the last World Cup in Qatar, but because of his form at Arsenal over the last couple of seasons, he's become an automatic starter. He'll be the left-sided centre-back in Brazil's starting 11 for every game, and I think he could be a really crucial player, and he's all set to prove to the watching world that he is one of the best centre-backs in the world at this tournament.
Hey, look, one of the big talking points has been Ederson replacing Wesley due to injury. Why has Ancelotti decided to replace a full-back with a central midfielder?
Yeah, it was surprising that that's what Ancelotti decided to do. But who am I to question the decision-making of a legendary manager like Carlo Ancelotti? I think one of the other reasons that it was a little bit surprising is because Brazil are not blessed with too many options in the full-back positions. If you think about the great Brazilian sides of the past, going right back to the sort of 60s and 70s, 80s, 90s, right up until, 10 years ago, they always had exceptional fullbacks, incredible fullbacks who were brilliant at getting forward and defending as well. You can't really say that about this group of players. Most Brazilian football journalists you speak to would say the one sort of weakness in this squad is the fact that they don't have great full-backs. And I think they've been weakened further after Wesley was forced to pull out of the squad injured. And it was surprising that Carlo Ancelotti decided to bring in Ederson. But great news for us, great news for Manchester United supporters as well, because they'll be getting to have a close look at United's first signing of the summer. Big things expected from Ederson. He's somebody who's proved himself in European football at Atlanta. He's got experience of playing in the Champions League. And speaking to some of the Brazilian journalists here, they were mentioning that they thought that perhaps Ederson had been recommended personally to Manchester United by Casemiro, one of the midfielders that he is set to replace at Old Trafford next season.
And Kaveh, what about Neymar? I have to ask about him. Does he have any chance at playing at this tournament?
Yeah, he's somebody who we can't see out here at the moment because he's injured. He still is being troubled by this calf muscle injury. I think it's now touch and go whether he'll be fit, more go than touch actually, whether he'll be able to play any part in Brazil's opening game against Morocco here in New Jersey on Saturday. But I think the plan always has been for him to integrate him into the squad at a later date. Perhaps it was always likely that he was going to miss the first game. But his inclusion in the squad has been very, very controversial. Neymar, of course, is a great player, but most observers would say that he is past his best. He's now 34. He's had some very, very serious injury problems, a serious knee injury that kept him out for a long time. He's gone back to Brazil, of course, playing in Brazil now. But when you look at the quality of some of the players who were omitted from this squad, you get an idea of why it was surprising that he was included, especially because at the moment he's got a muscle injury. For instance, what does somebody like João Pedro, who had a brilliant season at Chelsea, think of the fact that he wasn't able to get in this squad, but Neymar was?
OK, Kaveh, thanks ever so much. We look forward to seeing you, hopefully. I think it's just because you had your casual clothes on, wasn't it?
Actually, no, I'm looking quite smart today.
Yeah, well, we'll take your word for it. Thank you.